Welcome to part 5 of Casey Anthony. As a reminder, topics may be triggering. Viewer and listener discretion is strongly advised. The people mentioned are innocent until proven guilty in court. On December 11, 2008 at 9:32 a.m., a utility worker called the sheriff's department and reported finding a suspicious bag less than a half a mile away from the Anthony residence. The plastic bag contained a small human skull with duct tape wrapped around it with the hair still attached. Other items found at the scene were a Winnie the Pooh blanket, a laundry bag, a pregnancy test, Barbie dolls, a Winnie the Pooh helium balloon, a disposable camera, a Gatorade bottle with chloroform, toilet paper, paper towels, a World of Disney plastic bag, Kaylee's clothes, and Kaylee's pull-ups. Kaylee's remains were found in an area that had already been searched 5 times between August and December. Kaylee's body had succumbed to the nature of the humid Florida swamp. Her body had decomposed and was skeletonized. In fact, on November 15th, the Anthony family's private investigator, Dominic Casey, searched that exact area and videotaped it. At 11:55 a.m., Jose Baez arrived at the jail to see his client. The guards refused her right to counsel because the jail alleged she needed medical attention and that she was going to see a psychologist instead. On December 19, 2008, the authorities confirmed that DNA testing with the skeletal remains found in the wooded area did in fact belong to Kaylee Marie Anthony. Dr. Jan Garavaglia, the medical examiner in Kaylee's autopsy, reported her cause of death as a homicide by undetermined means. The fact Kaylee's body had been decomposing in the swampy woods for 6 months and her body had skeletonized, meaning that all was left was her bones, this prevented the medical examiners from being able to determine her exact cause of death. Thus, exactly how Kaylee died is still unknown to this day. George and Cindy's pastor, Thomas Shane Stutzman of the East Side Baptist Church, arrived at the jail to see Casey at around 2 p.m., but was turned away and left within 20 minutes because she refused his visit. On February 10, 2009, at the city's largest megachurch, First Baptist of Orlando, a public memorial service for Kaylee Marie Anthony was held. On November 22, 2009, the case of Casey Anthony at the Orange County, Florida's court documents amounted to 12,300 pages, making it the largest document filed case yet. On January 25, 2010, Casey Anthony pleaded guilty for the check fraud charges and was sentenced to credit for time served, but was still in jail pending her murder trial. On April 20, 2010, the original judge assigned to the case, Honorable Stan Strickland, excused himself from the case after the defense alleged he was biased. Honorable Judge Belvin Perry took his place. On May of 2010, George got a tattoo of Kaylee above his heart to memorialize her. He told the media, and I quote, "Kaylee's always in my mind. She's always in my heart. When I put her on my skin, she's really inside of me," unquote. Many have said that the O.J. Simpson was the trial of the last century, and that the Casey Anthony case was the trial of this century. At trial, Cindy retracted her statements in the 911 call saying that it smelled like a dead body in the car by saying that she was only saying that to make police respond quickly. At trial, crime scene investigator Gerardo Blois testified that he found Kaylee's hair in the trunk of the car. FBI evidence examiner Karen Lowe added that Kaylee's hair had a dark band that is only seen on hair strands that belong to decomposing bodies. The duct tape found wrapped around Kaylee's skull matched the Henkel brand duct tape used on the tin gas canisters located inside of the Anthony home, in the shed of the Anthony home. Forensics also found high levels of chloroform in the trunk. Chloroform is a chemical substance that is capable of putting someone to sleep. If too much is inhaled, it can be deadly. Dr. Arpad Bose, a forensic expert hired by the defense, testified at trial that the stained paper towels found in the trunk of Casey's car contained adipocere. Adipocere is also known as corpse wax and is a substance that is produced by the decomposition of human body's fat. Caylee's autopsy report also reported that adipocere was present on her skeletal remains. On July 5, 2011, after 6 hours of deliberation, the jury found Casey Anthony not guilty of first-degree murder, aggravated manslaughter, and aggravated child abuse of her daughter, Caylee Marie Anthony. They did, however, find her guilty of providing false information to law enforcement. On July 7, 2011, Judge Perry sentenced Casey to 1 year in county jail and $1,000 in a fine. And since she was behind bars since October of 2008, she received credit for time served and was released on July 17, 2011. In the 2022 docuseries Where the Truth Lies on Peacock, there was a clip that Casey is seen watching of a Dr. Oz interview with George and Cindy, where George says he has to apologize to Casey and Cindy consoles him, saying that it was an accident. We've reached the end of today's episode of Bay Area Housewife of True Crime. Thank you so much for coming down the rabbit hole where I currently live. As always, I accept and respect your opinions. I welcome all suggestions, input, requests, and inquiries. Hit me up at yayareahousewife@gmail.com. I'll see you chismosas, chismosos, murderinos, and the likes in the next. Adios.